Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared. And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository. But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, nothing changed. Damn it! Why was I so quick to shoot? Fine. What'd you say? Oh, start over again. His body disappeared, and so his body is in the repository, but when you compare his body before and after being moved... What? There's no... Oh. So close. I don't like how that one sentence started moving from like right to left when I didn't know like if there was anything more. Oh, whatever, I guess that sentence doesn't matter. In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. The fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning. Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered in blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe and clean the nurse's office trash can.
And
the evidence I found in the trash can in the nurse's office was Hifumi!
we found him in the trash.
Where he belongs. It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the blood stain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's? Or of course, Hifumi's of course.
The character was Princess Pickles from Demon Ain't No Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school. I see your point, and the only people who would wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that. How you teach us all? I need to keep my glasses clean.
And there's no question, it belongs to Hifumi. So what you're saying is what, exactly? What I'm saying is the blood on his glasses were wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth. Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself. But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner? You don't know, that maybe someone here is blind. That's a good point. Then it must have been him, right? So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretended to be dead, then when he was alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious,
you said it right.
becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
But then if he was just
Called him
pretending to be
fat.
dead, what
Look
was
at his
all that
teeny
blood?
legs.
Was it paint or something?
Never does leg day.
I don't think he does any days, to be honest. The fridge in the nurse's office contains a pack of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
He figured if he were gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere. But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done. God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who had moved Taka's corpse? The one who moved Hifumi? What? What? What?
Who
What?
done it?
What?
Who done it?
Move Taka.
What?
Who moved Taka?
Are they saying Hifumi did it? No.
Oh my god.
It could only have been Hifumi. What?
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked?
Well,
After the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
and the repository door can only be locked from the inside, which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced all of us he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. Is this insinuating that Hifumi killed Taka?
Oh my god.
So Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case, he was one of the assailants. But That means he took part in the murders. I just can't believe it! You cried on him, too. If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence? There's more?! Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. Is it alter ego? We haven't... Is it...
Just keep on reading.
I know, I'm reading it, You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off Taka's lifeless body? The note?
Dude, I think my mind is so used to hearing voices in this game that I like faintly hear their voices in
me
my
too.
head every
Me
time.
too.
It's weirding me out.
I'm assuming it says. You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you? A hidden note? That's right, we found it stuffed in his pants. What? In his pants? Yes, his pants. Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says. I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the equipment room at 6 a.m. Ah! That's the note I was telling you about! The one that told me where to go! Oh, wait! This one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m. I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got. It's not the same? You just said it wasn't the same. What's In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could have only been...
Me. Hifumi's pants. Pants come to life.
Specifically the pants. That's right, Taka. The killer used this note to draw Taka out and murder him. Hello, over here! Objection, objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy! TikTok? What did you call it?
That didn't exist yet.
Just to be clear,
Taka.
TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right? Ugh, yes? Why must you ruin it every time? Man, genocide check is seriously scary, but still, I can't let her get to me.
She's just trying to make jokes and nobody's going for it.
Nobody will laugh.
It's not a good joke. Oh my god, there's so much bullets.
3.
That's just so
3
much
bullets.
compared to the one. Huffy had the other note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy. How do I switch to bullets? Other. I remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet? 6 a.m., I believe. The time doesn't matter. I did it.
Right.
It's so weird to
Yeah.
silence like counter. He just like yells in silence.
No, there's absolutely is a connection. What? What the heck are you talking about? Oh, I'm sorry. Where the hell are you talking about? The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. And there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right? Which is where Taka was killed. I see. So Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think there should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka. Well, when you put it like that, no further objections!
Jesus.
Let someone use that note to trick Taka just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster, telling people they found a way out. But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it? Stuffed down his pants, no less! Most likely, Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died. Huh? He stole it? Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us. Proof that Hifumi stole the note from Taka. When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, this sheet of paper came from whatever. I knew it. It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi. Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note. Yup, they're from the same piece of paper. Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it. Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get that all right? That means Hifumi knew the note was important. Exactly, which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder. Whoa! Yeah, after seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing! In fact, he is still alive!
Alright.
Sorry, no, he's still responsible for something. He has to be. It must be. When we found him in a repository,
has to be.
Hifumi was truly and completely dead. The second body discovery announcement proves that. So then who killed Hifumi? Was it Hiro? Are we back to Hiro? Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer. He was killed in the repository, so he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body. So he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished. But before we found what's happening?
Oh my god.
So he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository. During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us had alibis.
Wait, but me and Sanford were together.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus! Who are you calling a walrus?
Oh my
Anyway,
god.
when they were both killed bothers me too, but there's something that's been bothering me even more. And what might that be? The weapon they used to kill Hifumi. The weapon? Yeah, I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, and then put the hammer back where they found it. Wouldn't that be seriously risky for them? I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all. Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight! He's right though, I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments, but if the hammers were already laying out, okay, I already know the answer to this. The question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Well, that doesn't fucking matter. Those were accounted for in the other rooms too, and I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone. Isn't that possible they used a different weapon? I don't think it is possible! They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right? So then what was used to kill Hifumi? The weapon that was actually used to kill Hifumi, the whole picture surrounding this case won't become clear until we figure that out. Somehow I have to find the truth! You mean that fucking hammer that we have in our evidence?
Whatever could it be? Literally just one bullet. What the?
Aw. Why wasn't that it?
No.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to
You wanna go with
contradict.
the contradict.
I forgot. Yeah, sorry. I got it. I'm always quick to shoot. This is why I can't have a gun.
In other words, you're very trigger happy.
Yes. I guess you could say I would
Trigger
cause
happy
trigger havoc. Yep. How did nobody witness them killing me? Sounds like Justice Hammer's about to make an appearance. What? Murdergear.com/hammertime? What?
It's an actual website too.
What does it lead to? Does it sell you hammers?
It's like what was it? What was it called? Murdergear.com?
Murdergear.com. Murdergear.com/hammertime. Murder wasn't Justice Hammer at all. No, it was something completely different. Huh? Well, seriously, a different weapon? Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi.
Murder wrong.
Now all the
It's
hammers
just
in the
like a shop.
for hammers?
Yeah.
No,
So yeah.
it's art? No, it's like music albums, I think.
Oh, that's cool. A little random, but whatever. Now all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris, but for some reason one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer had covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers, big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design. If that's true, then that would explain the Monokuma's file note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him. And whoever did that is the true killer, the one Hifumi was working with and the one who betrayed him.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not? We did talk about how there wouldn't be a reason for anyone to work together. At least that's what we thought at first, but... What? Uh-oh, I don't fucking know.
What's going on?
They're talking about how there shouldn't be a reason for someone to work together. There shouldn't be a reason for two people to work together because only one person will get out. Unless what? Oh god, I don't know. Everyone knows what means.
All the cool kids were saying it.
Even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who's actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it's simply impossible for two people to work together like this. That is how the rule was explained to us, but that only really applies if there's one. Oh, so like if one person kills. Yeah, okay, so if one person killed one person and another person killed another person, then if you have a class trial for both of the murders, then technically they would both get out? No. What?
69.
Did I say that wrong?
Are you saying if there's two?
If two separate murders happened at the same time, would you hold two separate class trials for that? And then if they can't
just
figure
be
out
the same trial.
It'd be the same trial. That if they can't figure out the two people that did it, like if they can't figure out who killed, like who the murderers were, then would they both leave? Is that the assumption? Is that the idea?
I don't think it's been made clear like what would happen. Like there's no rules or anything, so
yeah, there's no rules for multiple people.
So that would kind of be up to interpretation of everybody there.
Oh wait, I forgot what was the thing that killed people?
She said two murders.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna assume this is right.
What's the countdown clock for? The countdown clock is how much time you have for each given section that you're doing in the game. If you run out of time, you
I die.
yeah, you either die or you like lose a heart. I think you lose a heart.
Really?
You lose one heart if
just
you
one
wait
heart?
for 10 minutes?
Well, I don't know. I've never
That's
run out of
crazy.
time.
Let's find out.
That's really gentle then.
Let's sit here for 10 minutes and find out.
No thanks, I got things to do, man. Just kidding, I don't have anything to do, but since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved. What do you mean?
Possible.
If there's only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit. Risk versus what? Risk versus reward benefit? The payoff for working together, the reward that balances out the risk of taking part in the scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there is no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for risk, then cooperation becomes possible. You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplice to commit two separate murders. I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And based on the case's event, it has to be Yasuhiro, because he was in that stupid robot outfit when he grabbed Hifumi that time. And based on the case's event, Hifumi would have been the first one to act murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder, so he couldn't back out of helping them later on. So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all. The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then to avoid the no accomplice rules, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning. That's just awful! How could anyone be so cruel? You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning.
Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd. The effort made to convince us the two murders were the same. That was the main characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed that fact from the very beginning, which is why she said not to look at this as a series of connected events, but entire separate incidents. Kyoko's really amazing, though. This isn't the time to be thinking about. This isn't the time to be gushing about her. What the fuck? Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is yet.
Oh my god,
Did you die?
God. I understand how an accomplice could be involved, but then who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings? That's problem numero uno right now! The true killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions and in the end murdered him. And in debates up until now, the way the case has unfolded, when you consider all that, there's really only one person who seems to fit. Come to think of it, Kyoko could also be one of the people too, because she could have used alter ego as a trading chip or whatever for Hifumi to participate in this, so that Hifumi could see alter ego, right?
Well, right now, alter ego is gone. So
yeah, but Kyoko
if it was stolen, anybody could have it and use it as a bargaining chip, right?
Okay. So I'm gonna fucking say hero then. Wait,
It was
Michelle,
me!
Michelle, please tell me if it's hero. Can you please tell me if it is?
I thought you were gonna select Mondo for a second. You rethought it.
Is it
Do
him?
you really want to know, or do you?
Okay, just say yes or no.
Well, what's your logic that it's him?
Well, we saw that one shot of that picture with the robot dragging Hifumi away, right? To make
He's
it look
not
like
smart enough to trick two
Is that an
people into
act though?
doing
Is
stuff.
that an act though? You can pretend to be
No.
stupid. You sure?
I'm gonna say sure.
But that's because you think it's Celeste, right?
Yeah.
But then
You
how
just
would?
really don't want it to be Celeste.
Well, it's not. No, it's not that I don't want it to be Celeste. It's just that because of the robot picture that we saw of the robot like dragging away Hifumi to play out the whole scene of him getting injured by the hammer and stuff, right?
Could that be framed?
Also, yeah, balls. I was about to say, like, Celeste took the picture, right?
Yeah.
She did.
Well, did she have a camera stand?
But why was she using the nerd's camera?
Maybe she's a
It
nerd
was given
and it's
to
camera.
her. She asked
Okay.
for it because he was like, I don't
Okay.
want that anymore. It's not in mid condition.
Okay.
Okay.
So then,
30
I didn't
seconds.
remember that.
okay. So then, are we saying it's her then? Because then that.
I
because
mean,
what you-
I'm not saying
Well,
any
no, 'cause what you
solid
guys-
stuff in case I fuck up.
What you guys said
I don't
is
wanna be
plausible.
responsible.
Though. What you guys said is plausible though. Michelle, is it Celeste?
You got 8 seconds.
There's no downside if I get
Just-
it wrong, so
3,
It's just a heart.
2,
just click.
I
Just
just
click.
clicked.
Damn.
I just noticed Makoto's hoodie doesn't have any tightening ropes. Oh.
Oh yeah. It's
Oh.
I like
There's little
Huh.
holes for it.
I like pulling out my ropes though. I don't like having the strings on it. Depending on the strings, like
I
sometimes
usually mess it up.
you have the flat type of like hoodie strings, which I usually like, but then you have the ones that are like more circular that I hate. I usually hate those. And I usually like pulling them out.
Then the hood falls off.
What?
Doesn't
You
fall
don't have
off.
the tightening.
What do you mean the hood
It's-
falls off?
If a strong wind, it'll just whoop right off your
I
arm.
don't typically wear the hoodie to begin with.
Then
My
why
head is
wear
too
a
Wait,
hoodie?
that doesn't
Why do you
matter.
have a
because
hoodie?
it's comfortable. Usually my head is too big to keep the fucking hood on anyway, so.
So it's for style.
Yeah.
Got it.
You got a problem with that? So I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of a joke. A joke? I wonder. So what you're saying then is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him.
Oh, jeez.
That I would go within 10 feet of that shit for brains, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot! Pardonnez-moi. Whatever.
Pardonnez-moi.
Whatever. I don't know
Pardon
French.
moi.
I was close.
Pardon Zemoe.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it. Oh, is that so? It is. Throughout this investigation, there was a certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together. What is it that only Hifumi and Celeste had in common?
They're both weebs.
The screaming. Oh god, the screaming.
They both have papers
Encountering
in
a
Hifumi's
suspicious
pants.
individual.
Don't they both work?
Well, no, other people screamed.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
did they? I don't
Hina
remember.
screamed.
I don't remember Hina screaming.
I don't even remember like Nga! That's all I remember. The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it?
It's not
The only
behavior,
one-
that's an event.
The only ones who ever actually saw Robo Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush, the adults are talking now. Excuse me.
Fuck
Shut
off.
up.
Sorry.
We were the
As
one
he
who
said,
told her.
And
Oh
he
god.
throws a knife at him.
Where'd the
Murdered.
text go? Oh,
Sorry.
you
My
murdered the layout.
my new computer chair has like adjustable arms and I accidentally like moved it too far and it fell over. As he said, only Celeste and
The
Hifumi
computer
ever
fell
laid
over?
hands. No, my computer chair. I fell over.
Oh.
You fell.
Oh.
Ever laid hands on a costume individual. If we accept that Hifumi was the one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect that what Celeste had said as well. Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
Everything I know is a
After taking
lie.
Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
Duh, I did it. I killed it.
It's
I killed it.
I saw a shadow. Something moving around the top of the stairs.
We headed to the second floor specifically because what she claimed to have seen. Next to draw us all out of the physics lab up to the third floor.
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
And when we've all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said? Celeste, what's wrong? It was a rather intense scream for someone like you.
I did it. I fucking did it. I'm sorry.
I saw him, the strange costume man. He ran off as soon as I screamed.
I was walking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared. I'm tired of talking.
When she's done with her job getting us all up in the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Do you need help?
No,
Do you
'cause
want
then-
somebody else to talk?
No, I feel like I do it fast enough. I had to do it fast to get it going.
Lunga! Huh?
yeah.
What was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been.
He filmed me. He was in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back. I've seen this scene like play out like fucking 7 times now.
It was to get us to divide into 2 groups, so that way we would discover both bodies at the same time. In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Then why don't we split into 2 groups?
I'll lead the hunting party. That seems much more interesting.
Very well. Then Makoto and Hina, you come with me to the nurse's office. I will leave the capture of the suspicious individual to Toko, Byokyo, and Sakura.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chances events
Suddenly become connected.
Oh hum. And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. Ha ha! That was the signal of Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the 3rd floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead, I certainly was not expecting this. I did not imagine that Hifumi would be murdered.
So dramatic.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he had been murdered. You wanted to make sure that we wouldn't have any doubt in our mind.
I don't believe it. The whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body was disappeared, right?
Yeah, I was feeling kind of sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait, then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a
It
chance to
wasn't
help
a
Hifumi
bathroom.
sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared when we returned to the nurse's office. They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around frightened and confused. We're all gonna die here. We're gonna die just like those guys died. I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it. Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed, so Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed into the nurse's office. Now the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make any sense. It was completely out of place. What? Oh, I thought that was her insinuating that, like, I thought that was her saying about the other people that died.
That's kind of what I don't get. It doesn't really make sense. I'm assuming maybe in Japanese it's more pointed and makes more sense, but here she could just say, I was talking about everybody else who died.
Yeah, because
like not them as in these two.
Yeah, because it's possible she could have said futari, which is two. That would have. Oh well, I mean it doesn't matter, but yeah, that's a little off. They should have said maybe she should have said something about like, I don't want to die like the both of them kind of thing, you know? But
yeah, that would have made more sense.
I see what you're talking about, although I don't really get what it means. You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right? Byoko said that Celeste's comment doesn't make any sense, but what is he alluding to? Oh, what? I thought we were fucking done with this. I seem to say this every single time. All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We're all gonna die here just like those guys died. And that's all I said. And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment? Okay, so I'm not fully sure what I'm supposed to do, but I know what the contradiction is. I just not entirely sure what I'm supposed to pick out from this. So I'm just going to. Okay,
I think this one's a little bit weird.
I'm gonna just try this one first, and then I'll fucking guess everything later. Damn it.
I would actually try the opposite.
I was gonna ask if that would do something different.
Oh, okay. So I was close. I was close. Okay, I had the right idea. Because I think okay. I think because what mine was is that it wasn't a contradiction the way I did it. I guess I was just answering this question. Okay. I was close.
The only reason I said anything is because I don't actually remember this one. So.
Okay. Yeah, we're all gonna die here.
Those guys were so strange.
Oh fuck! I did the wrong thing. No, I held it too long. Fuck. Maybe they shouldn't have made it the same fucking button.
Don't you hate when you're trying to shoot your gun and you accidentally absorb a bullet instead?
Hate when that happens. You hate to see it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. We're all gonna die here. Oh my gosh, I cannot stop sweating.
Wait, what is this comment? Let's see. We got generic knit cap girl, Mr. Beard, bookworm, and Knight's ghostly kid. I don't know.
What?
I don't know what that's meant to be.
Are they making fun of us? Or?
I don't know if that's an insult or not.
Oh,
or just an observation because.
Band?
I mean, it's all about
that is
right?
what we are.
That is what we are.
That's right, there's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead. Like someone who likes reading books, right?
Okay.
Exactly, and we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to see this body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? How did you know they were both guys? Oh my gosh, that's stupid. That's really stupid. This would have been a good opportunity.
This is another thing where I think it's English versus Japanese, because guys, I could just say you guys and I mean all of you.
In Japanese, a lot of the stuff is very gendered when you say it a certain way.
Wow. Why didn't the translators do something about that?
You
Because
can't.
Kyoto's-
English just doesn't work that way.
They could have said those boys.
Yeah, they could
Like
have
those
said
boys died.
Them boys.
Them boys died.
They would have. The kid
Cracking
would have
open
ahead
a
of their
cold
time.
case with the boys.
Cold case with the boys.
That's what this whole game is.
That would have been the perfect opportunity for that.
Why does it look like Makoto's fingers cut off?
It's how you get in the school.
What? You have to cut off a nib with a finger to get inside the school.
Uh-huh.
It's like getting a thumbprint, but instead of a thumbprint, they just take your finger.
But it's permanent.
Yeah.
Now we have your fingerprint.
Because Kyoko has also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too. You all have such vivid imaginations, you know that? Imagination? You claimed that I was lying when I told you about the scary person I saw. Then what about the picture I took?
Huh?
How do you explain the
was
picture
a
of the costumed
selfie.
villain dragging Hifumi away? It has to become
Robot
some kind of
Jesus.
setup, right? So let's put the suit on and
Jesus.
then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture. Have you so completely forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know
And
that this
move.
particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist? Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away? God, I'm losing my mind. What could you possibly mean by that? Surely there are other explanations that the one you've offered up. No, there is no other explanation. Other explanations?
Of course you would say that. No, that's it. There's nothing else. Don't
If it
think
wasn't a
about
picture
it.
of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. Oh, is it a picture of Hifumi trying to, like, drag it away?
Oh, like maybe he
Oh.
wanted
He picked
the
it
robot.
up.
Yeah.
Me and the suspect are dancing. Me and the suspect had been drinking.
Cold gaze with the boys! Oh.
Cracking open a cold case with boys.
Hifumi is dragging the suspect away. Why the suspect?
Yeah.
Why
I
doesn't
mean,
it
that's
say
what
the
you just
robot?
said, isn't it?
It is, but why does it say the suspect and not the robot? It
Because
just
the robot is a
because-
suspect.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was just under the impression that whatever. It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
I love when the heads shake violently.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. Yeah. The one being dragged off in the picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in the situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious. But that's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this! Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous. Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all. Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you. Celestine says she can prove that
He
there's
was
no way
weak as
Hifumi
fuck.
was dragging the suspect away. But is that really possible?